split testing is not changing your buttons colors and praying for leads, right? If you don't know your current conversion rate, you're guessing in the dark. Change 5 things and you'll never know what worked. If you're getting 30 clicks and no leads, that's not a test, that's just noise. If you don't know why you're testing it, simply don't test it. A beautiful page with a bad message is still a loser. Submit is not a call to action, it's a swear word. 80% of your traffic is on mobile. So why are you deciding for desktop? Your best performing page might have died too young. Now templates are a good start, but they're not the finish line. If you only test 3 things, you'll win more than 90% of realtors. Split testing is your secret weapon if you do it right. Most realtors think they have an ad problem, when in reality they have a broken landing page they never tested properly. If you're running ads and people are clicking but not converting, it's not your ad, it's your landing page. You probably think you are split testing, but you're probably doing it wrong. So in today's video, I'm basically going to show you the most common mistakes realtors make when split testing landing pages and how to actually find a winning version that turns clicks into closings. If you want to get a base idea of who I am and who's this British person talking to you, my name's Dylan Kirk. I'm the CEO and founder of Estato, and we basically pride ourselves on building YouTube ad systems for realtors, right? Basically focusing on quality instead of quantity, because I realize a lot of companies out there give hundreds of leads to realtors, but turns out you can only close one of them because one of them's actually got a name and number, right? So you're just wasting your time with the 99. So we hyper focus on making sure that the realtors actually spend time closing deals and talking to actually good leads rather than chasing names and numbers which weren't going to go anywhere anyway, right? But here we are, the split testing landing pages. I'm actually going to leave that stuttering in a little bit because I actually roll with that, so I'm going to keep that going. But yeah, common mistakes to avoid here. So mistake number 1 is testing without a baseline. So split testing is not changing your buttons colors and praying for leads, right? The problem is most realtors test a new landing page without knowing the baseline, right? Like they treat split testing like playing dress up. Like they'll change a button from like blue to green and then call it like an A and B split test, right? So just let me be clear for a minute. Split testing isn't about small tweaks, right? It's about strategy. Like, perfect example here, if you don't know your current conversion rate, how do you know what's better, right? Just putting that out there. Like, what headline makes someone fill out the form? What offer makes them care? What call to action actually gets them to act, right? Like, split testing is a tool to get answers from the market, not random design changes. You're testing here, the split testing. Putting that in, I couldn't put that in clearer words if I tried. But the fix is always run your current best guess for about 500 to 1,000 visits before testing variants, right? Like, visits are different from actual clicks. It really kind of depends. So if you're going off, I mean, we build YouTube ad systems. So if you're going off our baseline, it's roughly like 100 odd clicks or so, which gives you a relatively good baseline of what the market actually likes. 100 per if you're split testing, gives a rough idea of what the market actually likes. So you can actually you can gauge a reaction from it. If you want to know exactly more about how we do this in the YouTube ad side of things, we have a YouTube guide there. You are not split testing your landing page properly, watch this. So it gives a great suggestion on how to get from basically less than 1% conversion rate to above a 3% conversion rate, which is what you really should be after if you're doing a YouTube ad setup. But mistake number two, testing too many things at once. So you go the other way where people aren't testing enough. So if you don't know your current conversion rate, you're guessing in the dark. As I say here, if you don't know your current conversion rate, how do you know what's better, right? Like you're guessing in the dark. So when you are testing things out, you need to do it one by one. You can't improve what you don't measure, right? And if you don't know your baseline, your existing page's performance, there's no way to tell if the new one is actually going to run any better or it could be worse, right? Like run your current one, as I say, until you get about 500 to 1,000 visits. With YouTube ads, it's a bit different, about 100 for each page, giving you the rough baseline of what's what. But basically, if you just launch blindly, you have no way of tracking or anything like that. You're not testing, you're gambling with what you're doing. So track your conversion rate first and then test against it. And here we have a couple selections here on what to test first and in what order. So change 5 things and you'll never know what worked. So let's say, for example, here, you've changed your headline, you've changed your image, your form fields, your testimonials, your call to actions, all changed at once, right? Congratulations, you've just invalidated your test, right? So when you are testing multiple elements together, it's very risky because there's no way to isolate what actually caused the result, right? Could be all of them, could be nothing, right? Could be a mixture, you don't know. So start simple. So swapping headlines, images, call layout all at once is data, right? If you swap everything at once, you essentially get data soup, which is something you do not want. You can't isolate what actually causes results. So the fix is to test one thing at a time. Like that's how generally like real growth happens, is that you test one variable at a time. Start simple, one variable at a time. Maybe it's the headline this week, maybe it's call to action next week, who knows, right? Then the image, whatever. But the point is that's how real growth happens, is by doing one controlled variable at a time. Yes, it takes a while. That's why people do this for a long time. Because they're constantly testing, constantly refining. But the thing is, once you're onto a winner, you don't really have to test anymore. Like, it's one of those things, you work on it for a while, get it done, and then once it's done, that's kind of it, right? And if you want to optimize it further, like maybe stretch for an extra like percentage on your conversion rate, it's not really too much you have to do beyond that. So, as I recommend here, headline versus headline first, form fields versus short form, and then a call to action versus a different one. Really basic way of doing it. Again, we go over this more in the guide here, exploring a bit more about what to isolate and what things to change, depending on obviously what kind of thing you're doing. If you're doing YouTube ads, I'll recommend it differently. If you're just doing like your YouTube channel or something like that, right? So number 3 is judging too early, which is a very, very real threat. So if you're getting 30 clicks and no leads, that's not a test, that's just noise. The fact is, most agents launch a new page and like, as I say here, only people get 30 people hit the page and no leads. It's not enough to call it a loss, right? Like, don't freak out when nothing converts, because that's not enough data. Like, statistically significant results, at least 300 to 500 visits per variant, right? Again, for us, a bit different. 100 per is roughly all you need, but with like a general gist of it, 300 to 500 visitors is roughly your ideal. So if you're going off just a website and not basing it off a funnel, that's the way I'll do it there. But yeah, you need roughly around 300 to 500 per variant minimum before you decide what's actually working, right? Because otherwise, it's not enough data, like less than that, it's not enough data to really go off. It's like flipping a coin twice and deciding it's rigged, right? Really big one there. Like, anything less is just sort of random chance. So have a set goal in mind to hit this number. Yes, it might cost you ad budget, ad dollars. Yes, it might take a while, but I'd rather it take a while or make it probably a bit more painful than going in blindly and just guessing what's working. So let each test run long enough to actually give a real insight, right? It's a big one there. The 4th mistake is random testing versus hypothesis testing. So if you don't know why you're testing it, simply don't test it, right? Very, very simple. Don't do it. Split testing isn't throwing spaghetti at a wall, right? You need a hypothesis, like a guess why something might work better, a hunch, right? Like that's kind of where everything comes from. It comes from a hunch, it comes from your unconscious mind, conscious mind, wherever. The point is something in your head has gone, oh, I can give this a go. You try it out. You don't let it completely rule the test, but you try it out. It's a variant, right? Like this is how it comes from. Like you need a hypothesis or a guess why something might work better. Like, for example, great examples here, like don't try things for fun, have hypotheses. Buyers want speed, so I'll test shorter forms, right? That's generally a hypothesis. Or sellers want trust, so I'll test more testimonials. Like treat split test like science, like make a prediction, then test it. If you treat, generally speaking, if you treat marketing like science, you'll probably actually have a great mindset for it. Like this is a genuine, like this makes it an actual real test here, because it actually shows intent, like it has intent, right? Like otherwise, you're just guessing, you're wasting time, you're wasting traffic, and overall, you're wasting your money. So if you want to dive in or at least explore, because the way I normally do it as well, if I want to split test something on a landing page, I usually base it off the script I've made for it, because that way it's not going to be too baity, it's not going to be too different than the original offer or the video or anything like that. So I usually base it off my script there. If you want to find a winning script or at least base off a winning script, then a YouTube guide there for you as well, being able to explore that. So just a couple of highlights here of why split testing is necessary and why it's wrong, right? It's not about changing colors or random button tweaks, just a reminder there, it's not about that. It's about identifying what actually influences conversions, messages, layout, or structure. Like just actually being able to see what is making a difference, what's moving the needle. Because the chances are you could be wasting time on something for weeks and it didn't even make a difference. So again, having that 80-20 rule, focusing on what actually moves the needle, this will help a load. And if you want to visualize why this is so important, like don't change your tires to see if your car drives better when the engine's the problem, right? Like You can imagine a mechanic, like you've come in with like a problem with electrics in your car and they change your tires. Like it doesn't make any sense to try that. So the number one goal is to get statistically significant insight into seller or buyer behavior. You want to find out what's working in your market. Every market's different. It's not going to be one size fits all. It's not going to be cookie cutter, although you have a general idea of what works and what doesn't, depending how much time you put into it. So mistake number 5 is not testing messaging or only design, right? So a beautiful page with a bad message is still a loser. As I say here, realtors often tweak colors, shapes, spacing, but keep the same weak message. The thing is though, a message will beat design every single time. Like most realtors, as I say, they'll try and pretty up the font, like sleek layout, whatever, stock photos, try and pretty up the landing page a bit, but they always forget the message. It's the most common thing in the world. They forget the message. Like, is the headline strong? Is it relevant? These are questions you should be asking yourself. Like, test different angles. For example here, find your home value instantly versus get a cash offer in 24 hours. These are two vastly different angles to go for. Again, discover what buyers would actually pay for in your home today. The best way I would do it is I would actually flip it. So I'd have 90% of like a pain headline and then 10% curiosity, if that makes sense. Then you flip it around and you do like 10% pain of a headline and 90% curiosity, because they're kind of polar opposites. You get a general idea of what responds better and what doesn't. The one that's in between is a value headline, which is a little bit in between the both. So if you find out one's working better than the other, try that one, then test the value, and then see what goes from there. If you have no idea what I'm talking about in terms of pain or curiosity headline, there's 3 different ways, or like 3 main ways of like at least attracting attention on a funnel. You can have a headline based off pain, so targeting a specific pain point for people, and then getting people to sign up to fix that pain. The flip side of that, if you get people who are too skeptical, you can try a curiosity headline. So if people are skeptical and they just want to more find out what it is you do, then go down the curiosity route, and this works better in more competitive markets. Actually giving that a go there and see what happens there. And the one in between value is just value stacking what exactly you're offering, because then you can find it in between there. If it's the case that pain or curiosity works well as well, then do that combined with value and you're probably onto a winner. So that was a little segment for me there. But yeah, basically, if you have the same audience but different messages, you have a different conversion rate. So you have a good idea of what's actually working and what's not. Mistake number 6 is poor call to action framing. So submit is not a call to action, it's a swear word. There is a big difference between submit versus get my free report now. Massive difference. The reason I say that is because if your CTA says submit or send, you're essentially leaving money on the table, because people don't want to submit, they want results, right? It's a big thing. So as I say here, get my free report now is so much better than submit, right? If you just leave it submit, kill your funnel now. You might as well. But make your button about the benefit, not the action, right? Even if you've got a pain headline, just make the submit or the opt-in page or whatever it is, right? The button, actually make it get my free report now, or make it in line with the headline to make it a bit better. The CTA must speak to the outcome the user wants. So make the CTA button match the value of the offer, not the action to do it. Mistake number 7 is not tracking form drop-off. So clicks don't pay the bills, leads do. The chances are your page might be getting clicks, but leads are dropping off at the form. Like, it's not a traffic problem then, it's a form problem. Like, are people clicking and then bouncing? Are they starting the form but not finishing it, right? Like, tools like Go High Level or like Hotjar is a really good one, can help you track this. So I'll say Go High Level because I'm affiliated with it. You get an extended 30-day trial if you use my code. I am an affiliate, just putting it out there for legal reasons, right? But basically you just want to know how many people are basically hitting the form, how many people start it, and how many finish it, right? A lot of them will give you a base idea, but you just want to track the page visits versus form starts, and then form starts versus completions. Is your form a genuine roadblock for people? I would start off making it as painless as possible, because volume will always be the first priority, then focusing on quality afterwards. If you know what you're doing is actually getting clicks or getting submissions, then flip it over and see how much you can stretch for quality. Because sometimes you will get people who are just submitting for the sake of submitting, but if you can weasel out the people who are just submitting for the sake of submitting, you'll be okay, right? Mistake number 8 is forgetting mobile users. This is a mistake I have done myself, and it's a big one, because 80% of your traffic is on mobile. So why are you deciding for desktop, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. A good 70-80% of real estate traffic is from mobile. So The problem is, and this is something because you do it on computer, you build it for desktop, but you completely forget about mobile, which in most of the time is not really optimized. It's quite clunky. It's not very good. Like, your audience is the one scrolling through on the phone, but you're the one making your desktop. So it really becomes a ball ache for them to go through. Like tiny buttons, cluttered layouts, hard to read fonts, like they're all essentially death sentences for you to actually get a good ad, right? So, or good funnel page. So design your mobile page first, use thumb zones, like big buttons, short copy, that sort of thing there. Then test desktop, right? Like things like, again, go high level will allow you to do both at the same time, and that should be okay. But it's really, really difficult to, like, if you just ignore mobile completely. So test mobile versions separately, design with a thumb scroll, behavior in mind. Massive, massive one. I've done this myself. Do not forget it. You'll thank me later. Mistake number 9 is not letting the winner run long enough. Your best performing page might have died too young. What I mean is that, let's say one variant gets 3 leads in the first 50 visits, right? But then it slows down. All of a sudden, whatever reason, slows down. So you kill it off. You say, that's enough for me. But what if that was just noise, right? What if that was just noise? You have to let the winner run long enough to actually prove itself, like across multiple days, traffic sources, and lead types. You don't want to muddy the waters. That's a big thing. It's just generally in business about not muddying the waters. If you have a really good sales day one day, and then the next day you can't sell anything, does that mean you've suddenly lost all your sales skill in that transition? No. It's regression to the mean. So that's a big thing to remember, especially with marketing. Like, when it comes down to it, don't cut a winning horse before it finishes the race. So the test might win early, but we'll just flip to the next one too quickly. As I say, let the winner prove itself over 1,000 visits, however long you want to let it run, and actually get concrete data. The more visits you get, the more data you have, but you don't want to waste your time, so set a cap. So always validate the winner across different traffic sources before scaling, right? Mistake number 10, the final mistake I see a lot of realtors make, is relying on templates alone. Now, templates are a good start, but they're not the finish line. Now, here's the thing, at least from my perspective, I'm talking about our company, but when it comes to our perspective, a lot of the templates are going to be a great starting point, right? They're going to be fantastic, it's going to be great. But there's always going to be a problem with cookie cutter because it's not personalized to your market. It's just a general gist of what you think works in the market. The more personalized you can make it, the better. Things like ClickFunnels or Go High Level templates, like they are pre-optimized, like they do work in that sense. Like they give you proven templates, quote unquote, but those aren't tested for your market or for an audience. So it's kind of gives you a right direction. It gives you a roadmap, but not the end result, right? Like they're placeholders, not profits. So templates aren't tailored for your audience or market, as I say. So use templates as a starting point, but iterate and customize based on data. Split testing is even more valuable in this situation because you don't know what's working, right? It's a great place to get started, but then you have to test, adapt, and personalize to actually get anywhere. At the end of the day, templates are tools, not strategies. Now, here I have for you today a free variable split test system. So if you only test 3 things, you'll win more than 90% of realtors. So forget the noise, right? If you test these 3 variables, you'll build winners. So first of all, the offer. What's being promised? Is it strong? Is it compelling? Is it specific? The hook. What's the attention grabber? So does a headline actually stop the scroll? That has to happen in order for you to actually get some traction. Friction. What's getting in the way of the conversion, right? How easy is it to convert? Is there any obstacle or any obvious roadblock that's causing this? So this is how you actually layer your tests to actually find effective ones, right? So test the offer first. Home value versus cash offer versus buyer list. Really, really good ones there. Then test hook. So headline, image. That'll help. Test urgency as well. Then reduce friction. So form length, copy, CTA wording, that sort of thing there. Just really try and remove that friction down. And that's how you find winners fast. Very simply there. I've just saved you probably $1,000 in ad spend, right? So at the end of the day, use the free variable test framework and stop testing noise. But I'll give you a rough idea of what this looks like. Just a rough idea of a really, really simple landing page versus a complex one. Here we have it. So literally a website with just this, first name, last name, phone number. I have got these from this. It's really, really specific to a market. Or this one here, which is just fill information below to get instant access, download your free guide now. Like everything kind of gets ticked off in this box here. Really, really easy sign up page, just name and phone number. That's it. Really obviously what you're getting is in line with what we're selling here. I haven't got the headline there just to protect the funnel to actually stop copycats and stuff like that, but that's a rough idea of what you're looking like, right? So split testing is your secret weapon if you do it right. Most realtors are running ads and burning cash. That's not because they don't have leads, but because their landing page doesn't convert. Like, now you know the 10 mistakes to avoid, and make sure you're doing that. You have a 3-step testing framework to get it done. So I recommend using it as soon as possible. You'll finally get the results you want to scale unless you move forward. But yeah, if this helped, make sure to comment below if you're testing right now, see what's working, maybe it can help. And if you want a teardown of your own landing page, check the link in the description. Let's fix your funnel together and let's get you more deals. That's pretty much everything. So, need anything from me, hop on my Instagram, Dylan Kirkastato. I'll be able to hop out. And if you DM me deals, I'll be able to try and figure out what's going on in your framework, what's going on in your system, and maybe I can actually help. I've also got videos here testing exactly what to do. So, if you want to find a winning ad hook, really good example here. If you want to find a really good headline, really good video here. Setting up your YouTube ads in general, setting up a YouTube system, really easy there, and how to track without getting a headache, essentially. But those are all good videos there. Let me know if this works for you. Let me know if it's been helpful. Drop a like if you can. And yeah, that's everything. See ya.